The Trolls are back today, and we are playing some Warhammer Fantasy 8th Edition. Today we have the Knights of Bretonnia taking on the Lizardmen from Lustria. We're going to take you guys over to the army lists. It's going to be 3,000 points today with, again, Bretonnians and Lizardmen. So we've dusted off our Knights of Bretonnia. It's been a while since they've been on the table. I'll take you guys through what we have. We're going to have a Lord on horse. He's going to have the Ogre Blade, the Dawn Stone, and the Grommel Greathelm. We're going to have a Prophetess on horseback. We're going to have our Bretonnian Battle Standard Bearer on horseback. Get a nice shot of the banner that we stole from Battle Masters. He is going to be armed with the Sword of Might. For core, we're going to have a unit of 8 Knights of the Realm, 2 units of 15 Knights of the Realm. We are also going to have a unit of 40 archers, a unit of 12 archers skirmishing. In special, we're going to have the Grail Relic, 36 of them. We're going to have a unit of questing knights. See them with their axes there. We've got 12 of them. They are also going to have the Standard of Discipline. We're going to have 4 of the Pegasus Knights. They have a musician. And then we are also going to have 2 trebuchets, henceforth known as the Tree Buckets. Almost forgot, we do have a damsel on foot, level 2. She'll probably be palling around with the archers. For our spells, the level 4 rolled up Throne of Vines, Awakening the Wood, Regrowth, and Dwellers. The level 2 rolled up Weissman's and Curse of Honor here. So that is it for the Bretonnians. We will turn it over to the Lizardmen and see what they're bringing to the table. All right, what do the big bad Godzilla worshippers bring to the table today?
So, leading the armies of Lizardmen is going to be the Slan, with his lore master of high magic thing.
Okay.
And with him, he has 2 Scar veterans, one of which is Battle Standard Bearer, and a Scar veteran on a cold one. Got 2 units of 30 Saurus, 12 cold ones, 8 Croxigors, 2 units of 10 Skink Skirmishers, 9 Chameleon Skinks, a Stegodon, a Bastildon, and 3 Razordon hunting packs.
Nice. That's a lot of lizards. All right, here is a look at our table from the Lizardmen side. Looks like they are attacking a small Bretonnian village and miraculous. Yeah, probably looking for some kind of relic that the Bretonnians stole, or borrowed, or found. So this is how it's going to look. We'll bring you guys back after deployment, and just be a second. Okay, we are all set up. We did roll for our scenario. This is going to be a blood and glory scenario, so that's why we're kind of in these altered deployment zones. For the Bretonnians running down the line, we've got the Grail Relic and the Pilgrims here, Trebuchet, Skirmishing Archers, Knights of the Realm here with the General up front. We have the Archers with the level 2 Damsel up front. We have a unit of Knights of the Realm with the Prophetess in the center and the Battle Standard Bearer up front. We have another unit of Knights of the Realm. The Bretonnians forgot earlier that we did have another Paladin, so he's up there. We have another Tree Bucket, Questing Knights over here, and the Pegasus Knights. On the other side, for the Lizardmen, we have the Bastildon, the Skink Skirmishers, the Cold One Knights with a Scar Veteran, Then we have a unit of Saurus Spearmen with the Battle Standard Bearer, the Razordon pack, the Slan, the Scouting Chameleon Skinks, the Stegodon, more Saurus Spearmen with a Scar Veteran, the Croxagores, and then another unit of Skink Skirmishers. So there we are, all set up for the Blood and Glory. The Bretonnians, I believe, have a score of 9, and the Lizardmen have a score of 6. So the first one down to the breaking point of 3 loses the game. So there we are. So it's a little bit more in the Bretonnians' favor, but the Bretonnians are also a lot squishier than the Saurus. So the Lizardmen have won the roll to see who goes first. So we'll bring you guys back after Lizardmen turn 1. This is where we sit at the end of Lizardmen turn 1. The Slan cast a Walk Between Worlds on these Chameleon Skinks and brought them over to here. They shot their blowpipes off at the Trebuchet, which is sitting up on a hill, and took 2 wounds off of that. Everybody else kind of advanced across the line. The giant blowpipes on the Stegodon managed to kill 3 of our archers, and the Slan also cast Fiery Convocation onto the Prophetess's unit. Fortunately, nobody was killed, but they are still on fire. And then over here, everybody else also crept up. The Bastiladon didn't manage to get his crystal off this turn, but that thing's coming for us next turn. So there we are, and we will now move over to Bretonnian turn 1. Alright, not looking too bad after the end of Bretonnian turn 1. The archers charged into the Chameleon Skinks to try and keep them from shooting any more at the Trebuchet. We killed 1, they killed 1. We won by a charge, but thanks to Cold Blooded, they ended up sticking around. The tree buckets both went off and didn't hit anything. Over here, the archers managed to kill a couple Saurus from that unit. I forgot to mention last turn, the damsel did a wound to herself with her Chalice of Le Montfer, trying to get an extra dispel die and failing. These guys are still burning from the Fiery Convocation. And over here, the Pegasus Knights moved around to the flank. Hopefully the next turn or two they'll do something over there. But in a dazzling display, both the Questing Knights and the big Night Bus of the Realm managed to make it to the Cold One Knights. They beat the Cold One Knights, and the Cold One Knights broke. The Questing Knights decided to restrain and reform, and the Knights of the Realm ran the Cold One Knights down, but unfortunately they only rolled a 6 for their pursue, so now they are sitting there with that giant block of Saurus looking at their flank. So that's not good. I'm sure the Lizardmen will take advantage of that on their next turn. We did forget also to mention that we rolled for our Mysterious Woods. We have an Abyssal Wood there, we have a Wild Wood here, and another Abyssal Wood over there. So, some mysterious forests going on. All right, we are off to Lizardmen turn 2. At the end of Lizardmen turn 2, this is how it sits. The Croxagores charged into the Grail Pilgrims. The Grail Pilgrims did manage to take 1 Croxagore out before they swung, but they luckily only killed 6 Grail Pilgrims in return, so we passed our leadership test there. Over here, the Skinks and the Archers are, having a tickle fight. They killed a few archers. I killed 2 Skinks back, but we held there thanks to our general's leadership being right there. The Razordons and the Stegodon picked on my archers, but they are still holding there. Over here, these guys continued to burn, but nobody's died yet. And over here, that unit of Saurus charged the big night bus in the flank, and as predicted, they blew through it, ran them down, and overran into the questing knights. So hopefully those questing knights can hold out next turn. And then the Bastillodon turn to take on the Pegasus Knights over here, but they probably won't be there next turn. Oh, and one other thing, the Skink Skirmishers there did finish off one of my trebuchets. It only had 2 wounds left on it. So we're down 1 tree bucket. All right, we are off to Bretonnian turn 2. This game's going fast. End of Bretonnian turn 2, and things aren't looking bad. Over here, the poor Battle Pilgrims continue to take a beating from the Croxagores. I think we lost 11 this turn. It only did 1 wound back, but thanks to their stubborn, they held. Over here, the Chameleon Skinks finally finished off the skirmishing archers. But over here, the Bretonnian Lord and his unit plowed through a unit of Saurus Spearmen and ran them down. Though we did check, we are still in the Stegodon's charge arc, so that's going to be interesting come next turn. The archers did do 1 wound to the Stegodon, so that was fun. Over here, these guys are continuing to burn. Over here, the Pegasus Knights hopped over the forest and the Bastillodon and charged into the flank of the Saurus. The questing knights managed to kill off a few, and the Pegasus Knights killed off a few, but the Saurus passed their leadership test. We only lost 1 questing knight in return for all that. So hopefully we can whittle them down as we go forward. So not looking too bad. If the Lizardmen lose the Slan or this unit, I believe they are broken. So hopefully we can keep the pressure on them as we go on to Lizardmen turn 3. Okay, here's where it sits at the end of Lizardmen turn 3. The Croxagores continue their abuse of the Grail Pilgrims, but they are still holding thanks to their stubbornness. We're going to lose this wild form. But, you know, oh well. So over here, I am almost out of these archers. They've passed their break test, but these Skink Skirmishers, the Chameleon Skinks, the Razor Dons, everybody's throwing everything they can at these guys. And there's still 2 of them left, and the Damsel, who, thanks to her miscast last turn, doesn't know any spells, but she's still there. Over here, these guys continued to burn in the magic phase, so I did lose 1 of these knights, but otherwise they're unaffected. Surprisingly, in a big shock, the Stegodon charged into the flank of that unit and only killed 1 knight, so I was absolutely stunned. He kind of whiffed this turn, so hopefully we'll have that kind of luck next turn. Over here, the questing knights and the Pegasus Knights won that combat, but the Saurus managed to pass their break test. They got off Hand of Glory on them that raised their weapon skill, but it wasn't enough for them to win that combat. They did manage to make their leadership test on the first roll, so that was a shame. But the Lizardmen are close to their breaking point. As long as we can keep from losing any of our big units and our general, the Bretonnians should be looking pretty good as we head into Bretonnian turn 3. Nothing much else is going on over here. If that combat's still going on, I think that Bastillodon's coming into the side of those questing knights, but hopefully we can avoid that. All right, we are off to Bretonnian turn 3. Here we are at the end of Bretonnian turn 3. The Croxagores finally finished off the Battle Pilgrims. Over here, the Bretonnian Lord smacked the Stegodon on the nose and did 2 wounds to him, and the Knights actually snuck a wound in on there. So the Stegodon's not looking too good right now. But over here, I decided to go for broke. I charged the Prophetess's unit into the flank of that unit of Saurus. They came in, they swung hard, they killed 8 Saurus. The Saurus only did 2 wounds over here, but the Prophetess actually healed them back up with regrowth in the magic phase, so that was kind of a push for them. But this unit did break, and it held the battle standard and another standard. So once that unit broke, their fortitude fell below 3, so the Lizardmen are routed. So this is going to be a Bretonnian victory. I didn't want to take the Prophetess in there, but I figured at this point in the game, that could win the game for the Bretonnians. So that is where it sits. Anything you want to add to this?
I think this is kind of like a tougher scenario for Lizardmen since they don't really bring in too many banners to battle since Praxagors can't take any, and they put quite a few points into shooting units and monsters.
Yeah, this is a tough unit for you because like Bretonnians or Empire or Undead can kind of all get really cheap banners. And Orcs fall into that category too. But Lizardmen, any of your units that can take standards are expensive. So yeah, we didn't know this was going to be the scenario going in. It just rolled out that way. But yeah, we've all been in that situation where the scenario just kind of screws you over. But the Croxagors definitely earned their scales today. They gave those battle pilgrims a beating. The Stegodon kind of bit off more than he could chew this time around. Normally he does a little bit better. For me, I think I was actually surprised at the Questing Knights. I think they did a lot better than they have in the past. It was nice to see them actually get some action in. Anything else you want to add?
I think it might be good. I'm definitely liking these house rules.
Yeah. All right, so here we are. That is the end. So we have this is our fantasy game for this month. We'll probably be back with some 40K next time around. All right, thanks for watching.